Hey everyone, Austin here with The Real Seal, back again for another blog video to talk about why wall anchoring systems work. Now, wall anchoring systems are used when you have a bowing, tipping, or a sliding wall that is sheared maybe at the bottom or has that pregnant belly button look where you have a really protruding wall that's sticking out in the middle, or the tipping wall where it's falling forward from the top. We have a couple of different ways that we like to deal with it, and there are a couple of different advantages for each of the systems that we use. Starting with the wall plate anchors, you've heard us talk about these before, and that's where we put a wall plate on the face of your wall and run a threaded rod all the way through the dirt outside to a trench that's dug 13 feet away from the home. This trench anchors the wall and the plate from either side, and we dig another trench that is right next to the foundation, and this allows us to actually pull that wall back. So we put the plate in the trench out here, and we have the plate sitting on the inside of the foundation here. Once we have free movement with no dirt in the way, we're actually able to lift up the weight of the home with cylinders, hydraulic cylinders and supports, and take the weight off that wall. We'll then use torque wrenches to actually pull that wall back till it gets back up to maximum practical level, as near to plumb as we can, 90 degrees up from the floor. Once we're done with that, we'll actually lower the weight of the building back onto the wall and then backfill both of those trenches, leaving those plates and rods buried in the yard as anchors to make sure that the wall doesn't move anymore. C-channels work in much the same way, except in this case, instead of just a plate here, we have a channel that runs the entire length of the wall. Now you might ask why we do this. This is in the case that we have cinder block walls that need to have support across the entire vertical space of the wall, and not just a plate that distributes that weight via the poured concrete wall, which will take that spread out weight. These C-channels are used also in shearing wall applications, where the bottom of the wall has broken and the bottom stayed still but the top kept moving, and the C-channel allows us to grab that entire wall and pull it back. So they both are the same in principle, where we have the threaded rod and a base anchor plate out in the yard, and then they both also come with our same 25-year warranty. Big advantage of this is that it can actually pull the wall back. When we talk about carbon fiber, which is our favorite method of repairing bowed and tipping walls, we're talking about putting these straps that are about 4 inches wide along the wall at about 4 or 5 foot intervals all along the wall. We hook them up to a plate at the top that hooks right into the foundation at the top, called the sill plate. And then we use a carbon plate at the bottom with prongs that epoxy straight into the footing of the foundation. Now, the footing of your foundation is the part of your foundation that sticks out from the wall that's buried underneath your yard or underneath your concrete floor. This footing is wider than the wall itself, and much like the foot on your body, it allows you to have more stability so that you're not just walking on peg legs. Your foundation works in much the same way. In fact, that's why they call it the footing. So that plate anchors into the footing and then drapes across the whole wall to help get our first anchor here, and then our anchor at the top of the wall to create 3 points of anchorage that stop and arrest all movement of that wall for life. Epoxy rivets, you've heard us talk about them before, are pushed through this pre-cured carbon fiber, and we have hundreds and hundreds of them on every single strip of carbon fiber that we install. These straps then are anchored via that epoxy to the foundation wall, and it creates a bond that's stronger than steel. This carbon fiber is truly stronger than steel and will hold your wall back better than any steel I-beam could. We love using this method when you have 3 inches or less of foundation movement. When you have less than 3 inches of movement, we're able to still maintain structural integrity of that wall and make sure you have a quality repair that doesn't take a whole lot of the excavation that the wall plates or the C-channels do. While these are definitely useful when we have over 3 inches and we want to get that wall back, if you caught the movement early, this is the way to go. And that's why we always recommend that you call us right away when you notice a problem, so we can get on it right away. Our carbon fiber straps have a lifetime warranty, and that's for the structure, not just your life. So if you sell the home, pass it on to your kids, their grandkids, that warranty stays in place. And it's so strong that if that wall were to ever move or fail, we'll come back and fix it for free, no matter what it takes, even if it's reconstructing the entire wall. That's how confident we are in this service. Both of these, all three of these methods are really good as far as fixing your foundation wall. And you always want to make sure, if you're not in Chicagoland, to have a qualified, certified, licensed contractor come out to perform these repairs. Any questions, you know you can always give us a call at The Real Seal, where not everything's better when wet.